Right, here we go. Right, we're in. To viewing. Jason, join us. Invite the guest. I've invited you, Jason. Are you going to join us? It looks like he might be. Maybe not. It's loading. Oh, he's gone. Invite him again. So he succeeds this time. It's loading, Jason. Go on, Jason, you can do it. No, you can't. Let's get hold of him on chat. Hi, Jason. Right. Try again, we will. Right, let's go back to... There you go. I'm using Chrome, Jason. It shouldn't make a difference. It's loading. Oh, dear. Oh God, blimey. Try again. Maybe try different browsers, Jason. That's only... Oh, go back to chat. Oh, it's letting me in. Have it accept. It's not showing up on your end. Oh, it's my end, do you? Oh God. I don't know what to do. All I see is a blank screen right now. Oh, sugar. What about using a different browser, Jason? Can you... Can you hear me? God, there's always something wrong in there. Let's go back to the viewers. Let's try subscribe. Invite guests. I'm inviting you again. Oh, here he is. Hey!
That's weird. I had to open up a whole different window. Can you hear me?
Yeah, fine. Perfect. What about me?
Yeah, I hear and see you great.
Well, at least hope Megan joins me. She was up for it, and I sent her a couple of emails, and she hasn't replied to them. But I had a bit of a chat with her last week, and she seemed a very pleasant lady. So I just don't think she would just drop out without telling me. So if she doesn't turn up, I'm a little bit concerned.
I'll be a bummer.
But there's nothing I can do about it. But we have to talk about Facebook. Shall we have a chat about Facebook?
Yeah, I mean, Sure. Yeah, we can talk about.
What other subject if she doesn't turn up?
No, Facebook's fine. I'm sorry, I got a little bit of a toothache. It's killing me.
Oh God,
It just hurts.
I
need some Orajel.
I got a pair of pliers.
No.
I do free dental work on the side.
It's right here. Oh man, it just hurts. It's throbbing. I can feel my heartbeat.
Oh dear, we keep it short.
Oh.
Well, we'll wait for a couple of minutes, see if she turns up. If she doesn't, that's the first time nobody without any notice hasn't turned up.
We can talk about Facebook, but
yeah, what about it?
Yeah, exactly. What about it?
Well, no, I've got a fantastic article to talk about, actually. It came from Curator. I'll put the link in here into chat for you to have a quick browse. Let's put it in here. And it's a fabulous article. Here we go. Put it in chat. And it's...
I don't see it in chat. I see, last one I see is I see you now.
Let's try it again.
Is it in your side? Do you see it on your chat?
Yeah.
That's weird.
This is weird, isn't it?
What's
strange?
There it is. There it is. Okay, so, and there it is again. So it just took a minute for it to show up on my side of the chat. Blab is done. I heard Blab shut down on Friday.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of that? Not surprised, are we?
Surprised, no. Kind of saw it coming. I don't know what they're doing for their weren't they doing like a chat for mobile apps or something like that? Some kind of teenage chat?
Yeah, good luck to them. I just think the whole thing was handled really terribly. I think they had something really quite special. Yeah. But if you read the article, you read between the lines, their VCs were not happy with the level of monetization they were predicting, and they kind of forced them down another road. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? But
yeah,
I think that could have been a really special. I'm sure other people will make something similar. Because the man
Huzza, you've tried Huzza, right? Huzza,
I don't know
what that was. Was that you?
No, this hope it was somebody. Oh, somebody trying to join us.
There you go.
But it's not. Oh, it's some people joining us, but they're not Megan.
Yeah. So Megan's supposed to be here, guys, but Alex and Jason, she hasn't shown up yet.
She's not showing up yet. So what we have to do. So let's go through this article because I don't think she's going to turn up, and I'm really surprised. I'm sorry about this. Had a great conversation with her last week. Sent her a couple of emails on their same email address. She knows one of my other colleagues that work with her on lynda.com. I have no idea what's happened. So hopefully it's nothing too urgent. I'm sure she'll come back. It was some reason. So what this article is about, Jason, is it's the ultimate real estate Facebook marketing playbook. And it goes through a number of really great points. And from 1 to 15. And I'm going to put the points into chat as well. And I suggest we quickly go through them. How does that sound?
Sure, let's do it. Let's do it.
And
sorry, my tooth is killing me.
Sweet. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's killing me.
Are you seeing the dentist tomorrow?
I saw him on Friday. That's the problem. Dentists are kind of ripoffs, man. I don't know about you, but
well, they are.
Golly, they a lot of money, and it doesn't seem. And tooth can put you down in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's what. Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't got much time for them.
Yeah.
Oh, seemingly I can't post all the bits in because it only takes a certain amount. Right.
I met Jason last week. I think it
All right.
was Wednesday or whatever, on a fire talk that I did with a realtor. Yeah.
All right. Great. So let's go. Let's have a quick practice before I press record on the external sales. Hi there, folks. This is the Mel Wright Real Estate Agent Show, episode 59. We were supposed to have Megan Adams with us from lynda.com. Unfortunately, she cannot be here. Hopefully, a future date she will be joining us. But we are going to be talking about Facebook. And that's good enough. I'm going to press record. Hi there, folks. This is the Mel Wright Real Estate Agent Show, episode 59. We were supposed to have Megan Adams join us today from lynda.com. We were really looking forward to the interview. Unfortunately, she could not join us. Hopefully, in a future episode, she will be able to come on. But we are planning with my great co-host, Jason Bates. Introduce yourself, Jason.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Jason Bates. Looking forward to this topic here. Jason Bates with Valley of the Sun Real Estate Show. You can check out my podcast on my website, valleyofthesunrealestateshow.com.
And he's been extremely brave today because he's in pain, folks. He's got toothache. He went to see the dentist on Friday, which cost him a lot of money, and he's in a lot of pain. A bit of pain, aren't you, Jason?
I'm in pain. I grind my teeth at night, and so when I grind my teeth, it hypersensitizes my nerves, I guess. And I've got a nerve that's just, it's killing me.
And now you're gonna have to put up with me for a half hour.
Onward and upward here. On with the show.
All right. So, folks, obviously Megan couldn't make it this episode, but there was a great article on the Curator blog called The Ultimate Real Estate Facebook Marketing Playbook. And it's all about Facebook. And I'm going to go through some of the key points of it. And they've got 15 points that literally cover all the main areas. If you're thinking of doing paid Facebook advertising yourself, I would highly recommend that you go and read this article in great depth multiple times, because it does give some really great key points that you should really follow, which I see a lot of agents not follow. And that's why their Facebook paid advertisement doesn't work. And I think the other thing is, what you got to remember, folks, is that if you do this advertising right, the leads are coming to you. They're not being shared out to a group of agents in a horse race. Yeah. The leads are going to you, unlike certain portal sites that basically you have to give them gobs of money and then you're in a horse race. At least these leads will directly come to you. And I think a lot of agents forget about that, don't they, Jason?
They sure do. They
right.
do.
So point number one, think clicks and leads. Now, funny enough, we start with this, and I don't totally agree with it 100%, but I do understand what they mean from this first point. And what do they mean by it? They mean that you're in sales, so you're about getting leads. So getting likes or building your brand is not really what it's about. And I agree with them about 70%, but I think there's also a place for using Facebook to build a local brand, and boosting some strategic posts can also help. What do you think about that, Jason?
Yeah, there's something about brand awareness too. I mean, getting your name out there. You know, I've done things where I've just kind of put myself out there to get some impressions as to what they, it's what they call them. And sometimes those impressions, when you're meeting somebody down the road, can say, "Oh yeah, I recognize your name," or "I recognize, your logo," or something like that. So, I think brand awareness there's not really value you can put on that, but I think it is important.
Yeah. So, on the other hand, I can see where they're going, because you get a lot of agents just kind of, there's not much planning to it. They get a post which they personally like.
Yeah.
They're not really done a lot to build up their actual page. They occasionally post something to it. They get something they think that's really interesting, and they decide to spend like $20 to boost it. And then when they really don't get anything from it, they kind of rubbish the whole platform.
Yeah.
And it's just craziness. So I see why they come up with that. Now, point 2, have a smart lead follow-up system in place. And what they mean by that, folks, they recommend Follow-Up Boss, which is a great system. But I don't really think you really need to really delve into a system of that power and complexion. What you got to understand, though, is depending on some of the other things we're going to discuss, not all these people are going to buy it straight away, but they have showed interest. So having some coherent strategy of keeping in touch with them is rather important, because they might not be in the market to either sell or buy right now, but they've shown some clear interest, and they've responded to your advert. So you should have some list building functionality and then some methodology about keeping in contact with that list. Would you agree with that, Jason?
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
And so many agents are so awful about this, Jason, about follow-up, basic follow-up with either something. They use Happy Grasshopper. MailRight, my platform, has a competitive system. But utilizing some system that puts them in a monthly email list, sends something to them, and then maybe every third month, give them a quick call. I think that's quite appropriate for the type of people that would apply to your Facebook advertisement. What would you say about that, Jason?
I'm a big believer the faster the better. So the faster you can get in contact with somebody, as soon as you get that notice, the better your opportunity, or the increased, conversion rate. So, and it's not just sending them a link to set up a portal to look at properties either. It's got to be personalized. It's, I used to do LendingTree leads. I don't know if you're familiar with LendingTree or not, but I used to have those earlier in my career. And the sooner that you get in touch with that person and promote yourself, and that way they can feel connection to you, the better. Facebook, there's pictures and all kinds of stuff, but it's still nothing better than a human voice. So the faster you can get in contact with them, even if it's a recorded message maybe or something that you could send to them, I think the better.
Oh, well, I totally agree. I think I was not explaining this that well. Thanks, Jason. Yeah. There's 2 areas to this. What, Jason, is it's been proven, and when I went down to San Francisco to the IGMAN conference, what Jason's talking about is when you get a lead and either email or you've made it clear in your advert, in your capture, which we're going to discuss in a minute, you ask for their mobile number and you say you're going to just text them. Quick follow through is really, really important, like what Jason's just said. I meant after that, Jason, and they've made it clear that they're not in the market at the present moment, that you should still keep in contact with them afterwards.
Yeah. At that point, you probably don't want to be too overbearing. So probably once a month or something like that. Yeah. Just, hey, how's it going? Here's the market conditions in your area, or whatever. I think that's totally appropriate.
And funny enough, next week, and I had a discussion on Skype with him today, Jason, we're having Daniel Amlaziasan. I'm butchering his second name, but he's the CEO of Raleigh, which offers a platform to text. It's human to human. So somebody replies to one of your adverts and you're not available, one of his representatives will text the individual and engage them and see if they are suitable for the agent to directly contact. And he's coming on next week,
Oh, good.
Jason,
Good.
to talk about his program. And it should be a really fascinating conversation. And he seemed to appreciate my humour as well. So on to the next one. Audience size, leave high school behind. What they mean by this is that you should be looking at a much bigger audience than you think. You know, obviously you are hyper localized, but also look at a bigger audience as well. And they're talking of audiences between 40 and 60,000 people in the article. I see where they're coming from, but it really depends on what your target is. You know, you're a luxury agent, you might have a smaller target. There are a lot of variables in this. But I do see where they're coming from, because a lot of agents, they go too hyper local, too small audience, and that's linked to unrealistic budget sizes as well. What do you reckon about that, Jason?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to be broad enough to capture, you know, the bigger the net, the more people you can get in the net, more fishing in the net, whatever. So, you know, I would just recognize, and that's where I think a lot of audiences or a lot of realtors miss, is identifying their audience and then targeting that audience appropriately.
The next one is targeting, go wider. It says here, Facebook offers a staggering number of audience targeting filters. To put that in plain English, folks, they offer to really focus down into a precise target audience. They offer a number of filters which you can apply: age, zip code, sex, endless filters. They're suggesting that you don't go crazy on this, and the only filter they use is they go for a target audience between 28 and 65. I've seen a lot of agents spend a lot of time on the filters, and they've just gone too potty with it, and that's what they're pointing out in this article. Number 5, geography, go hyper local. And that's what I meant. It's a little bit, number 5 and number 3 are kind of are a bit of a contradiction there, a little bit. And the only way I can, after reading it about 4 or 5 times, Jason, is they're saying go hyper local, but that doesn't mean you've got to go hyper small audience. And I think that's where the point they're trying to make. Would you agree with that, Jason?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, your property's local, right? So you got to be somewhat local, but doesn't necessarily mean your buyer is going to be local.
So true. So true. And do remember, folks, these are generalistic principles, and there will always be scenarios and situations where these general principles won't totally match. So you've got to be a little bit flexible. But I do think this article and what we're discussing right now will give you a really good framework and a much better understanding. Because like I said at the beginning of this conversation, folks, I think too many agents just do a bit of Facebook advertisement when they feel like it. And you've got to be much more methodical and understand how the system works. So we'll go on to the next one, and then we'll probably go for our break. And that's number 6, match audiences to campaigns, think relevancy. So this just sounds like stating the obvious, but it's another area where I see so many agents, Jason, really lose the plot on this. He's pointing out, if you've got like a 5-bedroom house with 3 bathrooms, it's probably depending. This is a generalization, because I was thinking of, there's some millenniums, if they're buying a property in the Bay Area, that they probably could afford really expensive. But in general, a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom property is probably somebody older who's going to be able to afford that. But on the other thing, if you're a downtown loft, it's probably going to be appealing to the millennium generation or a younger group of people. So relevancy is important. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, again, know your audience, right? I mean, know who you're targeting, what the property you're trying to sell, and the lifestyle. And ultimately, that's really what you're selling, is a lifestyle in most cases. So that then should lend itself to the type of audience that you should target.
That's great. We're going to go to our first break, our only break, folks, and we'll be back in a minute going through this list that Curator provided, which I think is fantastic. We'll be back in a minute, folks. We're coming back, folks. We're going to talk some more about Facebook and this article on the Curator. Hopefully, Chris has said he will come on the show. He's doing a tour at the present moment, but Chris did say he would come. He's one of the founders of Curator, Chris Smith, and I think he'll keep his word, and that should be a really fascinating conversation. I think this is another really important one, folks, and one of the crucial things that a lot of agents don't understand and don't keep to: budget, be consistent, spend money. And what they mean is Facebook responds to consistency. If you've got consistent budget and you stick to it, you'll get more outreach for your single dollar. Basically, they like to see consistency. And also when it comes to Facebook, you got to try the waters a little bit, but I see so many agents with really tiny budgets and they get very, very tiny results of it. I think you've got to have a realistic budget in the end. What I call a realistic budget, I think from 250 to 500 initially. And then when you start to get traction, you're probably going to look from 500 to 2,500. But whatever budget you do start off with, give it at least 3 months. Really plan out your adverts and read this article and have a realistic, consistent budget to start off with. What do you reckon, Jason?
Well, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I know a big realtor here in the Valley, here in Phoenix, Arizona. He dedicates a third of his income to marketing. So he does TV, radio, everything. So I know Facebook, I'm not saying dedicate a third of your income to Facebook, but you do need to set a budget and then, stick with it. 100%.
Yeah. Consistency. Obviously, if you've got no budget at all, you've got to look at more guerrilla type of marketing. But I think you can still, I think you'll be driving people from Facebook. You won't be in a horse race. You also got the element that Jason mentioned, where you're building your own brand as well. Mm-hmm. If I was an agent, it's simpler to go to Zillow, Twilio. You just give them the money, and then this takes a little bit more work unless you hire a company like Melrite or Curator, and there's a number of others. But the thing is, you can also do this yourself to some extent if you got the time. And I think that 200 to 500, you're better off spending it on Facebook than with some of these portals, basically.
I agree with that.
Duration, shorter is better. Don't have the same advert going on for a month, folks. It ain't going to pan out.
Yeah.
It's probably 5 to 7 days. Swap it out with another one. If it's not a property for sale, or it's a more generalistic advert, you probably can leave it for another 7 days and then you rotate them. But don't have the same advert showing week in, week out. That will get that just won't pan out. You won't get the results that you should do if you had some pre-planned adverts that you're rotating. This is down to lack of planning, lack of commitment, sitting down, writing some decent copy. One of the things I didn't point out with the number one that they start off with, they were saying it's got to be decent copy and have your links at the top, not right down the bottom, because they might disappear under the read more button. So you've got any calls or actions which are normally links, have them at the top of the advert, right? Now, point 9, placement.
Hey,
Well, there's still,
I'd like to add something real quick to that.
Yeah, sure, Jason.
If I could. So I ran an ad, and I did mine in bursts. So I know the article says 7 days or whatever. I did mine in 3 days. So, and I spaced mine out so that I hit when I felt that people were most likely to be looking for a home. So, for example, I did, most people set up their plan of attack for Saturday or Sunday morning. They may start their home search, for example, on a Wednesday, and then look through and look for information or whatever, and then get everything mapped out or whatever for Saturday morning. They go out on Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and then Monday or Tuesday, maybe they're reviewing the properties that they saw over the weekend, kind of thing. That was my thought process, and I actually got good results from that. And I didn't run ads at 2:00 in the morning, because in Facebook you can put times. And so I hit the times that I felt that most people were active on Facebook. So that's what I did. I got pretty good results from it. And I only spent $5, to be honest with you. I didn't spend very much money. So you talk about budget. I kind of blew that one out of the water, but I got like 1,000 or 990 impressions and 10 website clicks.
That's just,
which is really, really good for $5.
It's just mind blowing, really. Be truthful about it, Jason. So let's go on to ad placement. There's different areas that you can place adverts. There's desktop and mobile, and there's news feed, and then there's right column, and you also go Instagram. I've heard some agents are getting some really consistent and great results from Instagram. I haven't got too much experience, but I will be gaining some more over the coming months. But I agree with the article. If you want to get the biggest return, it does cost a bit more money. You're best off staying with the desktop newsfeed, mobile and desktop. That's directly in your feed. Reason why I'm struggling for a little bit for the wording is I was trying to find the right. It's not always clear what advert is and what isn't. It's got to the situation very similar to Google. There are some key little provisos that show out that it's a paid placement, but you have to look hard. It just goes with the territory, really. But I think Facebook, because they know so much more about the audience, the relevancy of the adverts, they do take care that if you are seeing adverts, they've got some relevance to what you're looking at, what your interests are. They have a much more deeper knowledge of the audience than even Google does. Right, but do go with desktop news feeds and mobile. Also remember that 70% of your audience are going to be looking at your adverts on a mobile device.
Yeah.
Right, so that's that. This is a biggie as well. Number 10, ad design, 2 kinds of clarity, clear message and high quality imaging. You need on the Curator site, they've got some other articles where they delve into different color schemes, having a border around the photograph of a certain color type. You're only allowed 20% of text on the photo, so don't go bonkers about putting all text all over your photos, because they're going to be they're going to be blocked, and you're going to get a nasty message from Facebook, and you definitely don't want to get banned. So do remember, there are some services that tell you if you're putting too much text on, but it's normally the quality of the image that's important. So image quality, spending a bit of time on it, understanding the 20% rule with your text will triple the amount of results you're going to get from your adverts. What do you feel, Jason?
Yeah, image quality. I kind of go back and forth on this. I'll be honest, a little bit. Image quality, is good. It needs to be good. It needs to look professional. Don't put some photos up there that you're not authorized to do. Make sure that you have authorization to use the photos in your ads or whatever. But I think the message is just as important in this, right? So sometimes you can get away with maybe a photo that isn't as good, But if the message is very clear and the call to action is very clear or whatever, then I think within that design, then I think you can get away with some stuff.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I don't totally agree with you there, Jason, but it's a grey area. I think I think the text, the imaging, all of it is really important, and if you can get it all spot as best as you can, the more response you're going to get. But we all live in the real world where we're juggling a lot of different balls, and just do the best you can, folks. The more time you spend on planning and strategy and trying to get this right, the more response you're going to get.
Here's the thing where I'd say on this that people can get tripped up on. Sometimes simple is better. Don't overthink it. Just kind of go with it or whatever. Some people want these elaborate like pictures and this and that, and they want the pictures to tell the story or whatever. Not necessary all the time. So there's a very effective commercial here in Phoenix that is Tuft and Needle. I don't know if you've ever heard of that company or whatever, but they're taking the mattress companies out of the mix. They've portrayed the mattress companies as a middleman to mattresses, which has jacked up the prices of mattresses. And so they have a commercial that has no sound whatsoever on it. It's just a quiet sound, quiet. And then it has like Tuft and Needle. I forget the exact verbiage that they used. But your screen goes silent, so it's kind of weird because you're expecting a commercial in your brain. You're kind of trained to hear a commercial, but because it goes silent, people look at the screen to say, "Oh, did somebody hit the mute button on my TV or something?" So it's a very ingenious kind of marketing strategy they do, but it's very simple. So sometimes simple can be effective too.
Totally agree with you. I think that was a great point, Jason. You can overthink things as well. You can overdo the elaboracy of image. There is a balance, and Jason's totally right there. So place links prominently in the copy. We touched that with point 1. I forgot they were going. Have your links, your call for actions at the top of the advert. Don't have them buried where it says read more. That will crucify you. Also with the imaging, it's better. They've got some examples on the article. It's better to have a multi-image where you've got one main image and you've got other imaging. The more imaging you can have, which the better. People just love it. When they're looking at housing, they're responding, they just love it. Number 12, entice just enough. That's something where if it's a house that's on the market, you don't have to give the price. Get them to go to a landing page and get some details out of them, and then tell them the price and some other details. You don't even have to tell them the precise street address, just the rough area. Be a bit of a tease. Yeah. Teasing's delightful, isn't it, Jason?
It is delightful. I guess that's the right word for it.
Everybody likes to be teased. Depends who's teasing them, doesn't it?
Sometimes it can drive you mad too, I guess. But yeah, teasing is good, and I agree. I mean, put enough on there to create someone that they want more, right? If you kind of tell everybody everything up front, the real good thing, the greeting cards are the masters at this. They say a lot in very few words, right? So, and they get a meaning across very, very quickly. So if you can think of Hallmark greetings when you're kind of doing that, entice just enough.
That was great, actually, because greeting cards, folks, that's an art form, and the people that produce the copy have a lot of experience. It takes a lot of work to cut text down and not lose the message. It's an art form. And
like some of these tweets out there, right? Some of these Twitter, some of these people are just ingenious on Twitter and how much they get in 140 characters.
Not mine.
Yeah, I'm not. But it's a great example, right? If you can keep it to 140 characters or whatever and jam it in, instead of typing out the word and, they type in the and sign, the F8 or F7 or whatever it is. those sort of things, help combine words and descriptive, use a lot of adjectives, but not too.
What's that adjective?
Yeah. What is that?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So I just couldn't resist it. I apologise. Number 13, coupled, adds to landing pages. This is a term used in industry. What it means is, first of all, you have an advert, it has some photography. You should always link your adverts, unless you're there about likes and branding, which we discussed at the beginning of this conversation. It should be linked to a landing page on your website. And the advert photography should match the landing page photography. You don't want to send them to something that looks completely different to the advert. What I also see, and this is a real no-no, folks, well, you can do it, but you just will not get the result. I see a lot of agents send people to their home page. Don't make specific landing pages. Don't attempt to get their contact details, and they send them to the home page. Really a waste of money and effort, really. You need some, there's lead pages. There's a half a dozen landing page constructions. It's an area that Mailrite works with agents to do this. If you can link it to landing page and a lead magnet, the results you're going to get are going to be much, much more than just sending them to the home page. What do you reckon, Jason?
100%. Landing pages, for those of us that don't know, or those of you who don't know, are pages that require something from the consumer in exchange for whatever you're giving them back. So it's a way to gather information from them, sometimes referred to as squeeze pages as well. You see them when you go to a website, you try to, click off the website and it says, hey, before you click off, we'd like to get some information from you. That's a landing page. And that's a way to build that database. So I couldn't agree more. I see this all the time too, Jonathan, that people have like this elaborate multi-million-dollar house that they've never represented. They don't even, their first-time homebuyer agent, yet they got this like $10 million home as part of the deal. And it looks sexy. And I'll give them that, but at the same time, I think it's a little misrepresentation of who they are and what they do. So I like the idea here of coupling the ads to the landing page.
Yeah. Monitor your performance. This is around another technical term called A/B testing. And also, Facebook are always changing their technology, the parameters. There has to be a bit of monitoring. And if you see some adverts are different. Jason's talked about timing, varying the timing of the adverts. You could have same picture with different text. Obviously, this only applies when your budget starts to increase and your commitment to Facebook increases, or you hire a company that's got a bit of experience in it. I've been working with a specialized Facebook expert that does a lot of work with agents in Canada. He's been helping me build out the Mailrite system, and he's helping me with the supervision of our test brokers at the present moment. And there has to be some adverts need to be dropped. Their budget needs to be cut down, and the adverts that are working, they get increased monthly budget. So, but this is when your budget increases, I would say above 500 maybe, and you've got multiple adverts, and you're getting large enough database where you can make some scientific decision on the data volume you're getting. What do you reckon, Jason?
Yeah, 100%. You got to monitor that. You can't just set it and forget it. I think a lot of realtors do that. Just set it and forget it. And okay, waiting for my phone to ring. Wait, my phone didn't ring. What happened? And so you've got to get in there and kind of see where your audience is at, because you're not going to be able to identify them right out of the gate. If you are, then maybe you need to be a marketing, guru down in New York City or something like that, because this stuff, it does change all the time.
And then lastly, innovate, stay on the cutting edge. Now, this is another area where hiring a company, because they should be keeping themselves au fait. Facebook is a fast moving platform. They're changing it. Look at live video, look at some of the bad points about live video. There's always they're testing, they're modifying. You've got to keep yourself abreast of these changes, cut the losers, as they say. Get content calendar, map out ads, post in advance, pre-planning, back to planning, folks. Just doing it when you feel like it and not being dedicated to it and methodical, you're just not going to get the results. So I think we've gone through a lot here. What do you reckon, Jason?
Yeah, the only thing I would say in that pre-plan, just like I said before, you can set the times that your ads are actually alive. So this is, you got to think of like it's a TV station or whatever that you're advertising on. You know when it's going to be on. You can prepare yourself if you are getting calls, if that's your call to action to call you right away, then you can be prepared for those things, sort of things. So definitely plan ahead, because we've kind of lost that word viral. I haven't heard that word in a long time, but these ads, I mean, if they're done right, I mean, if you look at some of the stats on some of these, you can reach 62,000 people, targeted people, in a very short period of time. So you could get overwhelmed if your ad's done right and done, appropriately, which is going to take a little bit of time. But if it is, then you could reach a lot of people in a very short period of time. So you need to be prepared for that, how you're going to handle it.
Well, I'm sorry, folks, that Megan Adams couldn't join us, but I think we've really given some excellent value here about Facebook. And thanks for the crew of Curator for producing the article. Hopefully they won't be too mad about me poaching their content, but I've given them a lot of comment. I've mentioned the article numerous times. In the show notes, we have links to the article and some other resources. So do go to the MailRight site. That will probably be put up over the weekend. And I do try and write some decent, a long article about what we discussed and offer extra value. Thank you so much, Jason, for staying with him. He's been in a bit of pain, but I think you could see it was worth the effort because we did cover some really interesting stuff. What's the best way for people to get hold of you, Jason?
Check out my website. I could send everybody to a landing page, right? So we kind of, I will do that to you. But my website, www.valleyofthesunrealestateshow.com.
That's great. And we'll see you next week on the MailRight Real Estate Show. Please go to iTunes, folks, and subscribe. And if you feel like it, please give us a review. It's great to have your views of the show, and it does really help the show. We'll be back next Monday. We normally put the show up on Tuesday on iTunes and then also put it on the website. We do have iTunes YouTube channel. When we have a guest, we normally have a discussion after the podcast, which is extra content, which we put on the website and on the YouTube channel. So we're not going to do this time because Jason wants to go off and complain to his dentist. So we're going to end now, and we'll see you next week. Bye. There we go. What do you reckon, Jason? That one bad? I think we kind of cover some good stuff, don't you?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I mean, this is all part of your audience there, the realtors or whatever. So, and a lot of realtors don't know Facebook. There are we have seminars or gatherings or whatever here of social media, and Facebook and Facebook ads is always one of the central topics of those things. And a lot of realtors just don't know how to do them. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that people give up on it. They don't get the result that they feel that they should get, and so they give up on it. So, I think it's an untapped market, and if it's done right, this is the nice thing about it, is that you can do an ad and your competitor can do an ad, but they're two different takes on the same thing, and you can get. It's not like somebody's beat you to the punch or something like that.
It must be, for $500. And thanks, Jason, for the comments. It's much appreciated.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing a lot more marketing on Facebook and on Twitter, and getting an email list going in the next couple of weeks to drive people to this, because I think people listening and getting some remarks is always helpful. And thanks, Jason Franco, for your remarks. But I think, like I say, we'll probably do after the recording, when we have a guest, we're going to probably do 10-15 minutes of discussion, which will be extra content for the website and for the YouTube channel.
Hey, speaking of which, and I didn't get a chance to say this, we used, or you used, and I've used Huzza.
I haven't used it for live. I was told it's a bit unstable.
Yeah, so they now have a Facebook Live integration into their.
Oh. Ooh.
So,
Ooh.
right, I know, right? So they have a free version. I think it's a paid thing too. With the free version, I don't think you can get as many people in the room or something like that.
Oh, have you used it?
I've used Huzza. Yeah, I used it about 4 months ago. Yeah, Jason Franco, it's pretty good. So now their Facebook Live, you just hit a button and it takes it to Facebook Live. Now I don't know if it goes to a page that you manage, or what. I'm sure it does. Somehow it integrates in with your Facebook. But we just talked about Facebook. There's a huge audience on there. Fire Talk doesn't necessarily have that integration. I have looked at vMix. I have that right now. My computer's not strong enough to run this vMix and over to Facebook Live and YouTube Live and all that. But so I was thinking about doing a Huzza.
No, I think we're. I look at it with my other co-host for the WP Tonic, because what I've done between you and the audience is the two groups that I really concentrate on is Chris Smith Curator's Real Estate Tech Group, which has 25,000 members. I've liked a lot of them. And they're friends now on my profile, and I'm an active member of the WordPress Advanced developer group that has 30,000 membership, and I'm one of the curators of that group. I'm one of the admin, and I also liked, so having it on Facebook would be really quite beneficial. So I will have a look at that platform.
You can put it on there and then put it in that group.
Well, that won't be allowed, but what I'm saying is I've a friend did a number of people in both groups.
Also, they would see it on your Facebook feed, is what you're saying.
Profile, yeah. You wouldn't be, unless you're running the group, you wouldn't be allowed to post that.
Yeah. I posted in a couple other groups, though, Facebook Lives.
Like, depends on how active their admin are. Both these groups, they've got both very active admin groups, and you read the terms and conditions of both groups, and it does vary depending on the group. That's not allowed.
I see. Okay. Well, in any event, I mean, even if you have your own personal business page or whatever, maybe, get some word of mouth and get it out that way. I don't know.
I would actually probably put it on the profile, on my profile, because both a lot of real estates are friends of mine directly, and they would see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got mine kind of separated. My Facebook profile is more personal, and then my business page is more business. So for me, that wouldn't work. But if that works for you, yeah, I mean, whatever we can do to help get more exposure.
Yeah, but better let you go because you're in agony, aren't you?
Yeah, I gotta go get some more.
I thought I've upset. I thought, well, he looks very stirred today because Megan. I have no. I was grumpy. I go by my instinct a lot of the time. I cannot believe that Megan would just drop me without any prior notice. I think something must have happened because she really came across as a really delightful young woman. And I think something's happened, some family emergency or something.
Yeah, you would think that she would maybe at least email you, because you sent her a couple of emails, you said.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Well, we have to say, but if that doesn't happen, I wish you well, Megan, but I hope you don't get messed around. But there we go. That's life, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Well, I'll see you next week.
Okay.
When you're going back to the dentist.
I don't know. I got a cap on a tooth in the back, but it's not my tooth in the back that he worked on, or crown, I should say. It's a tooth like right here that's really hurting. Like I said, I grind my teeth at night because of stress and just the business that we're in. So when I grind it, it makes the nerves kind of, I don't know.
Do you because they used to be really awful, but now they
I wear at night.
It's a protector. It's a kind of thing that goes over your teeth.
Yeah.
And it does work. It stops you from grinding them.
I have it's like a I don't know. It's a thin piece of.
No, these are molded to your mouth.
That's what I get from the dentist. And when I went there initially, he's like, yeah, we'll get you hooked up with that. But in the meantime, you got a cracked tooth. So we got to fix that cracked tooth, which that's what he fixed with the crown. But meanwhile, this tooth is still flaring up. So I've got to go and get a mouth guard kind of fitted and formed and all that kind of stuff. So until then, I've got a, over the counter kind of mouth guard, which is okay, but it doesn't work.
No, they don't. That's why you need the proper.
Yeah.
Or you could go to the vet. The vet will sort you out.
Or I could just take some peach schnapps and just,
Yeah, just drink alcohol. It works for me. So there we go.
I'll get numb, comfortably numb.
Well, thanks, Jason. It's always great fun having you as a co-guest.
Right.
And we'll see you next week. And I'm sure the Rayleigh guy will come on. He's a bit of a sport, and he now has 200. He's telling me he's got 200 brokers using his platform.
All right, cool.
And it looks really good. And it should be a funny interview.
All right, cool.
See you later, Jason. Bye.
Bye.
Well, guys, thanks, Jason Franco, for joining us. That was a great show. And I hope Jason sorts out his teeth. That's awful, isn't it? See you later, folks. Bye.